The First World War required years of diplomatic failures to eventually pull 30 different countries into the trenches. By the time the Second World War concluded, 2 weeks, the conflict has already directly involved 20 different countries. The chaos is spreading through 10,000 strikes inside Iran, sudden drone attacks on civilian airports in Dubai, and the American military's decision to publicly tease the deployment of nuclear-capable B-52 bombers. Modern world wars do not begin with a formal unified declaration. They emerge when overlapping international interests collide so rapidly that the escalation becomes impossible to contain. This conflict exists outside the framework of a simple regional border war. We are watching the execution of a doctrine called horizontal escalation, a military strategy designed to function as a global bomb. Instead of challenging an American superpower through a direct head-on battle, a nation attacks widespread, disconnected geographic points. The goal is to maximize disruption to global markets and destabilize domestic politics in neutral countries. This strategy weaponizes the interconnected global economy, turning the world's reliance on trade into a shield that military superpowers cannot easily penetrate. The primary target is the Strait of Hormuz. Normally, 25% of global sea route oil passes here, now strangled to 10%. The International Energy Agency is tapping emergency reserves, but at 100 million barrels daily, their 1.8 billion barrels only buys a few weeks. This resource chokehold forces other global powers to choose sides. Russia is now actively supplying Iran with intelligence to help identify and bypass American military assets. China provides a critical financial cushion by purchasing Iranian oil in yuan, while simultaneously deploying its global propaganda networks to secure international support for Tehran. Horizontal escalation has created a paradox. The U.S. military is paralyzed because Iran is effectively protected by the economic and intelligence shields of rival superpowers. American airstrikes are currently achieving tactical hits while suffering strategic failures. The strikes destroy equipment, but they fail to neutralize the underlying threat. This failure is rooted in the collapse of the JCPOA nuclear deal. Tearing up that agreement shattered diplomatic trust and left Iran with one logical path forward: the pursuit of total nuclear deterrence. The war has already migrated into the digital landscape. Militaries are using AI for targeting, while deepfakes, like the fabricated footage of Benjamin Netanyahu, are deployed to manipulate public perception and break down domestic trust. In an environment where diplomatic trust is non-existent, every kinetic attack by the U.S. simply increases the pressure on Iran to deploy its most advanced technology and nuclear capabilities. Horizontal escalation has made traditional diplomatic neutrality a thing of the past. When a global bomb is detonated, the shrapnel hits bystanders thousands of miles away. India's economy is directly exposed. 22 Indian-flagged commercial vessels are trapped in mined waters, unable to deliver the energy supplies the nation depends on. We can see the shockwaves in our local markets. In just weeks, the price of commercial plastics used by small shopkeepers has spiked from 120 to 200 rupees per kilo. In Gujarat, the town of Morbi has seen its massive tile factories begin to shut down as fuel shortages halt production. The front lines of this conflict run through grocery store aisles and regional manufacturing hubs. The true cost of this strategy is measured in local inflation and lost jobs. There is a stark difference in how nations prepare for this reality. In Israel, every citizen has access to missile alert apps and a robust network of bomb shelters. India, currently, has no equivalent system for public war preparedness. We often assume that our geographic distance from the Middle East provides a safety net, but in an era of interconnected global supply chains and advanced long-range missiles, that distance is simply an illusion. History provides a brutal lesson in the cost of vulnerability. In 1996, Ukraine voluntarily dismantled the world's third-largest nuclear arsenal in exchange for security guarantees. Today, the world watches the result of trusting in promises instead of maintaining deterrence. When a nation is targeted by horizontal escalation, its economy is strangled and its borders tested. In this landscape, a nation's sovereignty relies entirely on the depth of its economic reserves and the strength of its military deterrence. World War III is not a future event that will be announced. Through the collapse of global trade and the spread of regional chaos, the conflict is already sitting at our doorsteps.